Hey guys, welcome to Spilling the Reality with Trisha and Kiley, where we will be talking about The Amazing Race. It premiered tonight, and we are so excited. We did our cast preview yesterday, and I think we were wrong about some of these cast members. So I'm pretty excited to kind of walk through some of our first impressions of these cast members, talk about the roadblocks and the legs of this race. So I think we have an interesting dynamic going on with this cast. So, Kiley, before we get started, though, y'all, before I dive in with Kylie, I do want to say that the chat is open. So if you are um, watching with us live, feel free to drop a comment as we go through the episode on your thoughts on the premiere of The Amazing Race. And we'll be sure to interact with you. If you're watching afterwards, then drop us a comment below and let us know your thoughts on our episode and the Amazing Race. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about something different than Big Brother because it's been so boring. The
Yeah,
Amazing Race. When the Amazing Race is better than Big Brother, that is a tell-all.
yeah. So it is fun to see it back. We new to the channel. What's the Amazing Race? Hey, Cameron. So here we
The
go, y'all.
kindergarten breakdown of the Amazing Race.
It's a race around the world, and they have little competitions that they have to complete, and that's it. Don't be
Yeah, so
last.
they do these cultural competitions. So I know that there may be a lot of people that are watching Amazing Race for the first time ever. Um, and that's perfectly okay. Like we're in a weird world where we don't have anything to do but watch TV. We can't go to concerts or events. People are watching TV now more than ever. So yeah, Amazing Race, kindergarten level is they do these races and they're all culturally based on things that are in the
Whatever
country that
country
they're in.
they're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they may eat foods based on that country. They may, like tonight, they played music from that country. They went to a festival from that country, and do these little competitions and race around the world. And whoever gets first, they progressively get first. It's like knockout style. If you're
Yeah.
last, you're out of the race. So
Sometimes. All
sometimes, and sometimes
right.
you're not. All
Yeah,
right.
so before we get into specifics of the episode, let's kind of talk about all of these teams. I know I'm still not like settled in on what all of their names are, so we'll need a little bit of a refresher on who it is. We got introduced to 22 new people today. So, yeah, let's see. What did you think about our first team, the NFL players?
The NFL players. Okay, so not I don't want to like go through too many spoilers before we digest each of the comps, but they were very physical. Wasn't
Yeah.
surprised there. They got first in the first comp, but then they ended up coming in last in the overall race. So I not last, but they were the last team to move forward. They're
The
the
last
10th
team
place
that,
team.
yeah, right. So my impression is like, holy shit, how big is Gary? Like,
He's huge.
he is massive. I mean, a lot of these people are pretty tall. Like, you've got the volleyball players, and
Will and James.
yeah, Will and James are both tall, and he towers over all of them. And I'm pretty certain D'Angelo does say that he's 6'6". So, wow. I
He's,
mean,
like,
just,
tall and, like, broad.
I
Like,
mean,
it's no
like,
wonder he plays in the NFL.
yeah, I mean, his shoulders are like up to his ears. So big.
Like, um, yeah, and can we talk about how they became friends? Because
They have
well,
the cutest
they
friendship.
do, they're
Them
so
on the
cute.
teeter totter, that just
They're like, "We became friends, we
warms my
started
heart.
riding with each other to games." I'm like, "That is so cute. That is so
Yeah.
cute."
And
And
he's
they're
like,
in
we're the
Comic-Con.
yes, them at Comic Con. That was so funny. They're dressed up, fully participating, and yeah, that's they just have a fun friendship. So I think they're
They
gonna
do, like,
do
I love
well.
them, I'm rooting for them, like, not
Yeah.
just because, like, we kind of like, we kinda knew D'Angelo before he came in, but, like,
Yeah.
if I was just meeting them for the first time, I would think they're just, like, the cutest little friendship. I love the
Yeah.
bromance, and, yeah, I love their vibe.
Yeah, same. I agree. So let's talk about the volleyball players, Riley and Madison. So, what was your first impression of them?
So I like them. I think I actually like them better on the show than I did even reading their
Reading their
bio.
bios.
Yeah, like I think they're
Um,
gonna do even better than I thought.
yeah, so I feel like right now I'm just kind of like take them or leave them on them. There was nothing that I saw tonight that made me just really a fan of theirs.
Well, I like
They
that
did
they're
they
super
did say
competitive.
that they've been growing their beards for 4 years. And okay, y'all, we live in Texas and we can like men in Texas, if they grow a beard for 4 years, they're gonna look like they're on Duck Dynasty.
Yes.
I mean, my husband's beard looks like that like
4
90% of
days.
the time. And yeah, and it's been a week. Like, I'm confused that as much as their beard grew in four
Maybe
years
it's just
because
like
they're
the
not that long.
thickness because like my husband's beard doesn't get it that thick at once. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of patchy and like he slowly has to grow in like the patchy areas. I don't
puberty.
know. But like yeah. But I did like that they were super competitive. Like, for example, at the end, the goat race at the end, we hear
Yeah,
Riley. I think it was Riley. I still don't know who's who.
yeah.
Um, but
We'll
the
work on that, y'all.
shorter one, I don't know, the taller one. Anyways, one of them said that they're like, note that I was here first, like before the other one. And I was just
Yeah,
like, I just love, this is definitely a
sibling
sibling.
rivalry.
Yeah, like, and I like that.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about Will and James. They are
Team
our dating
Purple.
couple. Yep, the dating couple, Team Purple. I thought that they were going to struggle a little bit in the first leg whenever they were having to roll the little drums, and Will was like spilling things out of his backpack, and he's also so tall, and he was bent over so awkwardly, and things kept falling out of his backpack. I was like, oh no, this is kind of like a bad movie.
Help him. Help
Help
him.
him.
He's gonna die first.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they're up. They have a high energy, so they were fun.
yeah.
They're fun. They're entertaining. Okay, let's talk about Nathan and Cody, Team Orange and Brown.
The
No!
noodlers. Oh, they're so cute.
Their accents were 10 times thicker than I thought they would be, but
And thicker
not
than ours.
surprised.
So I
Way
mean
thicker
that's
than ours.
saying a lot because we're pretty country. But yeah, so if y'all did not know what noodling was, we told y'all yesterday, and I'm glad that they showed y'all where, they full on stick their arms down into it and come out with this big ass catfish attached to their whole arm. So that's noodling, and that's how they're friends because they're noodle buddies.
Yeah, and they're just a cute little friendship, but, you
Yes,
know,
and whenever Cody ran to pick his little girl for doing the drums, he's like, "Y'all are all so beautiful, but
he
you're
was
the closest." And I'm just like, he is so sweet.
Southern hospitality, and then he's like, "You're gonna learn my name one day," because he was like, "I'm
Hmm.
Cody," and they were like, "You," and he's like, "I'm Cody," and they were just cute. They were just cute.
Yeah,
All right, Hung and Chi.
this was my winner pick, y'all. I was super impressed with them. They were definitely composed throughout this leg of the race. They seem really just genuine and down to earth,
And
and
chill. Like, they are
yeah, really
so
chill.
chill.
I think they're going to do really, really well.
Yeah, they have their shit together. All right, Kaylin and Haley, the real estate sisters in pink.
Yeah, so they apparently moved out when they were super young, 15 and 16, but they've stuck together and they've got their real estate business. And I completely stereotyped them yesterday, thinking that they might be like some dumb blondes, but they don't come across that way at all. So I think that we might have underestimated them a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. They did surprise me in how they placed in these legs, and
Hmm.
they were really like motivational of each other,
Hmm.
and you could just tell that also they're siblings, but it's like they're like best friend siblings, and
Yeah.
so they might really go far.
Yeah. Then we have Jerry and Frank. This is the father and son duo.
Love them. I love their dynamic. I love how, like, Frank is keeping Jerry in check
Yeah,
and is
he
like,
doesn't
I
have
dance
any
all.
rhythm.
Yeah, he's like
Here's his dance
calling out
moves,
his
which
dance moves.
me and
I
Jerry could
love
dance
them.
together because that's how I dance too.
I love them. They are great. I just love them.
Yeah. Okay, then we have Aparna and Eswar. I hope they stick around because they, as
Didn't you say they were
Aparna,
going home first?
yeah, I said that I thought that they would go
They
home
were your
first
loser
because
pick.
they were my loser pick, but I like them. They are very fiery, and as they said at the beginning, they're really effing smart. And so I hope that
They're
we
like,
get,
we're really smart.
yeah, just so y'all know, like,
I love
we
that
are.
they have watched this show together since they were kids,
Mhm.
and now they're on the show together. I think that's really special. I wish I would like had a show like this with my siblings or you know someone. If y'all haven't heard me
Right.
and Kylie's story, like this is how we became friends. We
Yeah.
were like, oh, you like Big Brother? Oh, you like Survivor? And so it's like to have that with a sibling would be really cool. But that's how me and
Friends.
Kylie became friends over
Yeah.
this. So it was cool to see their baby pictures and see them,
Hmm.
as little tots. And it seems like they've really been close probably their whole lives.
Yeah. So
They're
I
close in
like
age. They're only
them.
2 years apart. So
Yeah. I like them. Hope that they stick around for a while. I think that they'll be very interesting. All right. So then we have Alana and Leo, our hipster team. What do you think about them, Trisha?
and then we have Alana.
Okay, so one of us is like delayed or
I don't know
something
if you're just breaking up for me or one of
because you're breaking up for me.
can the chat tell can y'all tell us who's delayed? Like why does this always happen to us?
Yeah, I don't know. Why did bad things happen to good people?
And you're breaking up for me.
And you're like really slow for me, and
Okay,
I'm
someone in
moving
the
slow
chat,
for you.
SOS, y'all help us. Like, who is
Who's
actually
having the
delayed
internet
here?
problems? I mean, I was having the problems earlier today, so there's a good possibility it's me.
I am okay. It seems like we're good now, though.
Okay. And Trisha's gone, so I think we can conclude that it was her that was having the problem, y'all. So while she's figuring her stuff out, we will talk about Alana and Leo.
Get back.
I think it was you that's having the problem.
Yeah, Uncle John said, I think it's Trisha. Okay, it's me because it just kicked me out. So I was like, all
Yep.
right, it's me. That's the tell all.
Definitely you. All right, so Alana and Leo, I don't feel like we get a whole lot from them at the beginning. We do get Alana kind of being pretty vocal, and I was like, oh, she's going to be a lot. But then the rest of the episode, they just kind of blended in. I don't have a whole lot of opinion.
Yeah, like right now, so they weren't. I thought it was definitely going to be like she's the bossy one, she's the
Hmm.
one like making all the moves. I did not get that vibe in the episode, so
Yeah.
it'll be good to see how they progress. But I think they're definitely going to go far. Physically, they're middle of the pack. Brains, they seem to really have it. So as it gets towards the end, they do have a lot of competition, or they always have like a mental comp at some point during the leg. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right, so then Michelle and Victoria, Team Louisiana. What
Love,
do you think about them?
love. I love them. I hate that
So
I'm saying this about 2 teams, but
Michelle, we need her to be on the TV screen as much as possible because she is going to be highly entertaining.
they are so entertaining, and I love how opposite they are.
Yeah.
Um, like, I love them.
Victoria's like, Mom has my picture in her wallet, and Michelle is the car salesman, and
And we called
probably,
this.
yeah, we did. So, very entertaining.
Yeah, and just how like Michelle will roll her eyes at Victoria at times. This is the typical relationship. I love that they're like, we are from Lafayette, Louisiana, the Cajun Asians.
Yeah, that's funny.
Very
I
cute.
missed that part. I had a little bit of a problem because I was still watching Big Brother, but I was watching it off my DVR, so it stopped for a minute. So I missed a little bit there in the introduction. So I did not hear I did not hear them call themselves the Cajun Asians. That's
Yeah,
really funny.
yeah. So
The
they're
Raging
cute.
Cajun Asians.
Love them. I love, and they have big personalities. Like even Victoria, she's more bland, but she still has a big personality.
Yeah.
So
And
they're
that
gonna be
brings
fun to
us to
watch.
our last team, Kelly and Levon, the Olympians.
Team
And
Light Blue.
y'all, I felt so bad for Kelly in this episode, being dyslexic and having two competitions that dealt with numbers.
Yes.
And when they chose for her to do the drums, and I knew that it was going to be numbers, I was like, oh no, oh, baby.
Oh, but I mean, they didn't know, and we'll talk about the
Yeah,
clue and the comp. But yeah, they almost didn't make it, guys. They almost didn't make it, which would have been very shocking to lose. You know, the Olympians
yeah.
in the first episode. So, anyway, let's talk about the competitions.
All
So,
right.
first leg of the race, we get little introductions. We learn a little bit about each player as they're running. But the first competition was them in
Rolling these drums.
Trinidad.
Yeah, in
Trinidad?
Trinidad. Look, y'all might as well get used to it. We're really country, so
Our
we're gonna
accents
say,
are gonna get in the way.
yeah, our accents are gonna get in the way. We're probably gonna butcher some words. There's gonna be some words we don't even attempt to say because Texas accent doesn't mix with with some words.
When there's too many vowels, we're out.
Yeah, because the word just sounds too long. So they go to Trinidad first, and they don't spend much time there. They pick up their clue. They have to roll these, you know,
They look like kegs.
yeah, then they have to roll the kegs to the festival. And the first 7 get to be on the first flight as they move to Tobago, and the last 4 are on the second flight. I like that the flights difference was only 30 minutes between them. So it did make it so people on the second flight were able to catch up and pass people on the first flight.
Yes, but it always like these if we were on the Amazing Race, this is the part that makes me the most nervous. My big kitty's in the background for those of you who only watch us for kitties popping up at my house. Um, he's probably gonna try to come get my lap in a second. But anyway, Um, so it's always interesting, and the later these legs get, how there'll be like a day difference in the flight. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's nice because it will break it up, but oh my God, how stressed and how pissed I would be if I was on the second flight. Like, I would
Yeah.
be
30
like,
minutes later.
yeah, no, we've got another airline. There's got to be something. We've got to figure this out because
Yeah. I think these were just
private
like
charter.
little sea boats. So
Puddle planes, puddle
yeah,
hoppers.
I was gonna call him a crop duster, but
These little crop duster planes. Oh god.
oh gosh, y'all. Okay, so yeah.
I I also didn't comment on the fact that I wasn't on the Big Brother show today. Thanks, Kylie, for filling in. I should have done this at the beginning, but I'm feeling a lot better. Took some medicines. I wasn't feeling good last night on our episode, so it just like kind of trickled there. Didn't get much sleep, and yeah. So thanks everyone for your concern, and thanks Kylie for running the show today without me.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Best.
Okay, so when they get to Tobago, they take their little boat ride, and on the boat they have this fish, and it's got a 4-digit number, and they know that they're going to be unlocking a combination with their number, and it also has the 3 color markings on the fish, and they're supposed to mash their fish and unlock it with the padlock. So let's talk about what would, we told y'all yesterday we might apply for the Amazing Race. So, what would our approach be for that? Because all of these people were trying to remember the colors like red, yellow, green, green, red, yellow. And they were all getting confused. And I think that I would have taken the approach of just doing a letter like RYB, RYB.
Yes. If I was on Big Brother or any show like this, it would be I have to do acronyms.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
however, there was like a fuzz.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Please
I
excuse
was
my dear Aunt
acronyms
Sally.
ready. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I would not
Or
have
a
been
song.
trying.
Like I like to sing songs. I can't carry a tune in a bucket, but it's like if there's a song, I can remember it.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have tried to remember the whole color words. And they ran into that problem because everybody was yelling out their color combinations and they were getting confused with each other. So I feel like that would have made it a little bit easier if they were just RYB, RYB, or whatever.
Yes. RYB. Yeah.
RYB. Yeah, some type of little cheer, chant. That is what Team Texas would do. Okay.
Yes.
But we get an interesting approach with Hung and She, and they did not look at the colors of the fish at all. So they decide that they're just going to try to unlock every single fish's padlock. And y'all,
This is a terrible strategy.
55 fish. That's how many it took them. And somehow this strategy did not completely bite them in the ass. I don't know how.
It should have. This isn't anything you should ever aim for.
Right.
Never. Just just
Yeah.
remember your shit and do your thing
Yeah.
because doing all of them oh,
Wow.
like I just think of so many competitions that they're going to have in this race where
Yeah.
you can like oh we'll just do all of it and not
Yeah.
remember this. No, that's not good.
And I was pretty impressed with them for the most part. But this was a definite flaw that they had. So if they're going to continue to be successful as the race goes on, they are going to have to be a little bit more mindful. And so hopefully this was a wake up call for them to be a little more detail oriented because a lot of the Amazing Race is remembering those really minute details between things like, you
Yeah.
know,
Like the statue here and the statue here and okay, go remake that statue.
right.
As just an example of a comp. Who
Yeah. And
got
like,
first in this?
um,
Am I breaking up again?
you are breaking up again. I could hear you, but I can't remember who got their fish first. Was it the volleyball players? Possibly. Oh, Trisha, struggling. I don't exactly remember who got first. She's gone again, guys. She also missed a little bit of the show at the beginning because her internet was struggling. So it looks like she's continuing to have some internet issues. Um, so after
This is
the
exactly what kept happening on the episode. So
yeah, that's what I was telling them.
uh,
So
what happened to me
um,
on the episode?
yeah. So after the fish out of water comp, they moved on. This is y'all, we're really professional sometimes. And she's gone again. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, oh, nope, I got it down here in my notes. Michelle and Victoria were the first to finish the fish, not the volleyball players. Um,
I'm just gonna keep popping in and out.
okay, so Michelle and Victoria finished the fish first.
Okay, good to know.
So, anyways, they move on to the roadblock. This roadblock is called Who Can Steal the Show? And they have to have a little bit of rhythm, bust out a beat. How would you do in this, Trisha?
And they also have to remember the numbers.
Yeah.
So okay, y'all, to set this competition up, what they had to do was set up they had to like hit the it's like this drum type thing, but it's like a bowl and every spot you hit makes a different sound and they're all playing a song and you have to fit in with the group playing the song and the little spots that you hit are numbered so you can remember the numbers and go in order.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it wrong in any way, your rhythm is off, your numbers are off, you're not playing the right tune, then you're outie. So, how would I do in this competition? I am absolutely tone deaf, but I can remember numbers pretty well.
Yeah.
So I think I would do okay, but if I knew what was happening, I would probably be like, you should do this competition.
Yeah, I have no rhythm either, so we need to like start making a list of things that we need to work on before we apply. Learn
Let
how
me
to
add
drive a
this.
stick shift,
I have some
get
post-its
rhythm.
right here. I'm just gonna put stick shift and rhythm.
Okay, so those are our two biggest weaknesses so far. We'll discuss all of our weaknesses as the season goes on. And, it may be a really terrible idea for us to apply because
Let me just stick this right here, y'all.
somewhere where we can see it
Yeah,
and
here we go. I'm gonna stick it here and we'll talk about these regularly. Um, but the clue itself said, Kylie said it just says,
steal the show.
yeah,
STEEL.
yeah,
So, our NFL players decide, hey, what's the big guy's name? Gary?
Gary.
Yeah, Gary
D'Angelo
is
and Gary, yeah.
yeah, Gary decides to do it because they're thinking that this is going to be another strength type thing. And so Gary, who has no rhythm, I mean, he might be related to me and Trisha, he decides to take the music competition.
Unknowing that it was a music competition, which sucks.
Yeah,
This happened to a few teams. So,
yeah,
well, we see Victoria and Michelle get there, and Hung and Chi, they
yeah,
all get there first, and they're doing this, and they do the dang thing.
yeah.
Like
Super fast,
they make it look like easy,
like
maybe 2
first,
rounds, 3
second
rounds. Yeah,
try, and they're out
done.
of there.
So we're okay. So we see them, and they move on. All right, and then we
Yeah.
see these other teams doing it, and so we as viewers know what this competition is, and so when Gary says he's gonna do this, we're all like, not trying to
No,
stereotype
Vin
you, but like,
D'Angelo.
no. And of course, then the competition goes on, and D'Angelo is like, why did I agree to let Gary do this? Like, it is so bad. He messes up so many times.
Yeah.
Cannot get it. His rhythm
He
is
doesn't
so
have any
bad.
rhythm.
He's like the song is like, let's say Jingle Bells. It's some like cultural song that we don't know. So I'm just gonna do Jingle Bells, and then he's like Jingle Bells.
Bells.
Like he's like way off. Like he is clapping off beat, all the things. He's off. Completely off. So that was a wreck, and that really put this NFL team behind.
Yeah. And another interesting duo that gets to this one is Kelly and Levon. Is that her name?
Yeah,
Okay.
Kelly and
Kelly and
Levon.
Levon. And once again, Kelly is dyslexic, and unknowingly, this is going to be something also having to do with numbers. And whenever, they're reading the clue and she's like, I'll do it, I was like, no. Oh no, Kelly, which there's going to be things all season with letters and numbers, and this is going to be something she's going to have to work through.
Yes. I know that there is like therapies that dyslexic people can go
Hmm.
to teach them, like to kind of trick their mind to get
Yeah,
that. But
strategies.
this would be so difficult. I mean, this was
Yeah,
obviously difficult for people who
high
don't have
stress.
dyslexia. So
Right.
yeah. So we also saw the Olympic team do poorly at this competition, and
Yeah.
but you know who did good that surprised me?
Okay.
Alana and Leo. So
Yeah.
Leo gets in there, and Alana tells us, you know what? He's good with music. He's not
Okay.
necessarily good with these other, type things, but he's good with music. I'm, I'm glad he's doing this comp, and he does it like third try. He gets it,
Yeah.
so they're like out, gone,
Whoop. Peace.
come in and out.
So we get left with a final three teams waiting to check in, being our NFL team, our Olympic team, and the Noodlers.
Yeah, Cody and Nathan. So the next leg of the race is a goat.
Checking in at the pit stop with a goat race.
Yeah. So what they had to do at this goat race was these goats have these Yeah, Jim, I'm gonna have trouble learning all these players' names. We'll try to say their shirt colors too to help y'all
Yeah.
out. Because same, we have them up on our other screen so that we can
Yeah.
remember. Um, so there's this goat race competition, and these goats have these ropes tied around them, and they open up the
They're
gates
at the
like at a
starting
horse
gate.
race, and the goats just take off. And they're pretty much dragging the player. And the whole
Y'all.
idea is that they cannot let go of the rope till they get across the finish line. That's like
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So first up, we have Chi and Hung, and
Maroon team
they, yeah, the maroon team, the parents,
from
and
Houston.
y'all, let me tell you, I don't like goats. So we do live in Texas. You can find goats everywhere. I mean,
Our petting
people.
zoos, like
Yeah, I was gonna say
regular,
people
they
like
have.
to think that it's really fun to have petting zoos with goats, but when I was in middle school, I got bit by a goat, so I just don't like them. And so I'm not a goat fan. And when they're like, they got to race these goats, I was like, these bitches, these goats here. And
Like
I knew
both
what was
of
going
the teammates have to do this.
and I knew what was going to happen. And these little sons of bitches, they take off out of the gate.
They open the gate.
They look like they have been poked in the ass with a hot rod, and they take off. And we get to see some really good falls, which I'm always here for. I like it when people fall. It's so funny. And Hung and Chi, they come across the finish line, and Hung hits the finish
No,
mat, and
Chi.
whoop,
Chi hits the finish
I
mat.
know, I think Hung is the girl.
Oh, is it?
I'm pretty certain. Um,
You're
maybe,
right. You're right.
yep,
You're right. I'm looking over here at the bayou, the
the
bio.
Bayou. Yeah, the
Hung is the girl.
Bayou.
You're right. You're right.
Okay,
Uh,
so Hung hits the mat, and
because she's still hanging on to her goat. Like
yep, ass over tea kettle.
the finish line is like probably 10, 20 feet prior to the mat, and
Yeah,
she's still hanging on to the goat when she gets to the mat, and that sucker drags her, phew,
yeah.
right
She
over
hits
that
that
mat.
finish mat, and it's slick, and there she
And
goes.
Phil was very concerned. Phil was
Yeah, I
concerned.
mean, it did look like it hurt.
She hit
You
her head
know,
like pow on the mat.
yeah, had a little whiplash there, but she says she's okay. They finished first, so they're
She gets up
obviously
and
happy about that.
immediately hugs Phil, and she's like, "Ah!"
Yeah, she's so excited. And they are so cute, and they're so happy to finish first. And Phil tells them, "You're first, but you're still racing." And off to Columbia they go. That is where we'll be going on our next leg of the race.
Yeah. And then second, so while they're going and their goats are released, they do hang on all the way the first time. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then behind them is Michelle and Victoria, the black team, Cajun Asians. And um, the goat comes running out, and Michelle, Michelle is the car saleswoman, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Michelle, that
She
goat
spills.
shoo, pulls it right out of her hand and keeps running. Yeah, and so she just falls, tumbles, and she's like, "Wait, wait, wait, wait!" Like she's like hollering
And
at the goat to wait.
And what I love is as they're crossing the finish line, one of them, probably Michelle, because she definitely seems to be a little spicier, she yells, "I love goat cheese."
Yes, yes.
I don't love goat cheese.
Me
I
either.
don't
It's
like
disgusting.
anything from goats.
No. So those are our first two teams. Our third team is Riley and Madison,
The
right, Kylie?
volleyball
Yes,
players.
the volleyball players. And this was the scene where one of them don't know their names yet. I don't know who's who yet.
Yes, I don't
But
know.
one of them says, "Nope, that I was first." And so just to show a little bit of their competitive side. So they're third place. And then so the other ones start filing in, and our final three teams, like we said, are the Olympians come in ninth place, the NFL team comes in 10th place, and our last place team is who I predicted to go home first. So I win
Oh,
that one.
was it? Is that who you predicted
Yeah,
going
that's what I
first?
said. Go home first.
Okay, good
Nathan and Cody,
job.
orange and brown. The Noodlers weren't able to pull out the W, and Phil tells them, sorry you lost and you're going home. That
I'm
ends your
so
time.
sad. I just really thought with it being the first leg and that they were continuing to race, I was like, okay, this is going to be a non-elimination.
Yeah.
I hate when they only get to do one leg. It's so sad. And they're like, well, we're just glad that we got to spend time with each other because we're best friends and now we're going back to
It
paint
was
lit
a
Kentucky.
trip of a lifetime.
They are so cute. And I want to be friends with them. So hey Nathan and Cody.
Yeah, they are. They're precious. And oh, well,
I wanted them to stick around and we could have seen them for a couple more legs. So, with us kind of wrapping up this first episode, who do you really like? Who is your favorite team as of right now?
like personality and entertainment wise,
Yeah. Like,
I
who do you want to see for the whole episode, the whole season?
Michelle and Victoria, hands down, take the entertainment crown for me.
Yeah, they were very entertaining. Hold on, I gotta pull up the list. Need to see some pictures.
Well, you also said you loved,
Yeah,
Aparna and
Aparna and
Eswar.
Esmar.
Yeah.
Yep,
I like them too. They're spunky. Jerry and Frank, the dad and son duo. Will and James are super entertaining, like tons of personality there.
yeah,
And then Gary and D'Angelo, love them as well.
yeah. So
I don't
there's
know how
some
much longer we'll see Gary and D'Angelo. They were last, so we know that they got their ticket to Columbia last. So they're just not starting off, and I don't know that they're good enough to like get caught up.
right. It'll depend on what the next leg brings. So hmm,
Yeah.
who knows, guys? Who are you ready to see go home?
Who am I ready to see go home? I mean, uh,
Like I
like
think,
Caitlin and Haley are just like meh to me. Like they could go.
and I kind of felt like that with Alana and Leo. They're the two that I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
they can
same.
leave.
They're basic. They could go.
So
Phil, he can go. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Phil.
Phil,
He's middle of
you've
the
had
pack.
enough. You've had enough seasons. Hit the road.
You've been on enough of our shows. He has what's the other show he has?
Tough as nails.
Tough as nails.
Nailed it. That's another show.
Oh, all right. Anything else, Kylie, from the episode?
Nope, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah. So first place we had Eswar and Apana, the maroon team. So they will be first to Columbia. It'll be interesting to
Hung and
see.
Chi are their
Hung
names.
and cheese. Not. I have this written on my notes wrong because they're both maroon. Sorry.
Yeah. Hung and Chi, mom and dad are off to Columbia first.
Yes.
And we've
And
got
they're super chill.
D'Angelo and Gary bringing up the rear.
Yeah, they got a lot of catching up to do. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of our episode. We will be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time to talk about Big Brother and give you guys a live feed update before the eviction episode. Things are shaking up in the house, so I'm just excited to talk about that. I'm glad to be back tomorrow. Hopefully, no sickness arrives, but I'm feeling a lot better today. So excited to come back tomorrow and chat with Kylie about all things Big Brother. And then we will be back next week, same time, same place to talk about the Amazing Race. So meet us here every Wednesday right after the show. We will be on to chat about the Amazing Race. So looking forward. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at reality_TRHS, where we will post updates. And if you're interested in Big Brother, posting lots on our social media. Um, don't forget to hit subscribe so that you get notifications every time we go live on the Russell Hantz Show. And hit the thumbs up and drop us a comment on your thoughts on today's episode. All right, Kylie, anything else?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right, guys. Cheers to premiere episode of The Amazing Race. Bye, guys.
Bye.